Hello, welcome to Reframing Mindset Podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity, practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day. Okay, now welcome back to Reframe Mindset Podcast. My name is Constant Brooks. And now this episode, we're going to talk about slim versus fat, bro. Because it, I'm I'm glad I'm one of the person that said can say that I've been both, and now I'm slim again. Now I'm getting slim again, and some of the things that being slim, when I was slim, back before this podcast started, and I was going to school, and I was really slim. We couldn't get fat. I was before you know before all of this, when I was born, I was fat. Then I got really slim, really slim. Then I was slim throughout my whole school year, my whole university days. And then because of what, if you listen to the podcast, if you remember what happened, because of that, I had to get fat just to prevent myself from getting back to that state. But now I'm back to being slim again, and this time I'm actually, because I'm I'm responsible for taking care of myself now. You know, I, I know what to do to actually to I understood what the problem was that caused me to got sick back when I actually was trying to get put on some weight back in the days, back in the days. So, but now I'm kind of slim again, not to where I was, not, but I'm back to below 200 pounds. And with that, you know, some of the pants that I usually wear, I know getting big, are big. My waist is kind of getting too small for them, but I still can wear it. Some of the shirt that I got, where I wear them now, they look big on me, because they when I was fat, they bought that clothes for when I was fat. I know they're just big on me. So it's like, so that's the thing, bro. That's what this topic about, bro. When you're adult, that's it. The the point between when you left school is just basically that and literally death. So you're going through a lot of phases. You're going through a lot of phases, and I gone through one phases. One phase when I was fat, and now I'm back to being I'm more fit now. I'm fit, more fit now. So that's basically what I can say now. I'm not slim. I'm fit. You know, I'm below. I'm around 190 to around 180 pounds. 189 pounds. So I'm fit. I'm fit now. But this topic is not really me to promote the fact that you should be fat. I'm not one of those people that you have to call me a fat shamer, bro. Because there's nothing in there's no science to prove that being fat is good, bro. There's no science. But for example, if you're playing sports, putting on a couple weight will be more benefit, you know, because when I usually play basketball, I was very slim. And one of the problem is that one of the reasons that kind of affected my gameplay was that I was so slim that I was afraid to get hit by any of the guys, because any of those hit would really really cause my bones to break or anything like that. Yeah, that so I was really passive in my plays. I never drive. I really drive to the basket. and I really do any type of contact plays because I was really slim, and if I hit in one of the guys, I'm basically I'm basically going to just break. So that was one of the cons of being slim when I was playing basketball. So back then, if I had more weight, I could have played better. I maybe could have played, be more impactful to the game. I can't say I would play better or nothing like that. But I would be more impactful to the game. Because one of my teammates, he got better, what because he actually started to put on weight and he started to get big and could actually do most of those contact plays, you know, drive to the basket and all those stuff. So really that's what made him got the start to play better and became one of the best players in the island that year, you know. Yeah. So there is some benefit to being put on weight, but you don't want to be fat. You don't want to be fat. I've been fat and there's a lot of cons, bro. There's really a lot of cons, bro. Like for one, you feel you feel the weight, bro. The weight is it really gets to you. Really gets to you. Like basically, like for example, when I was losing the weight, doing cardio and those stuff was really hard because it's like, yo, I'm trying to lift these weight. I'm trying to move this weight, and it was really hard to actually get it done. I'm really glad that it got done now, but being fat is not it. It's not it. If you can avoid it, avoid it. But I guess there's some rare cases where being fat is is beneficial. There's few use cases. I can't tell you what then, but yeah, but for being slim now, being slim, there's a lot of I guess there's nothing wrong with it. And there's nothing that's one of the weird thing about being slim. There's nothing wrong with it. There's a lot of cons though that you're relatively weaker. So that's one of the cons. So you're weak, you can get pushed around. That's one of the reasons why people usually pick on me, but back in those days because I was really slim. I couldn't really fight back. couldn't really fight back. All of my fists were weak, so that's basically what happened. But playing basketball while I was slim, my form, like, you know, by the time I reached university, my body was fit, like it was really fit. I was slim, but I was really fit. I was like kind of strong. I was strong, relatively strong, and my body had a very nice figure. I was just slim. You know, I never had abs. I barely had abs, but my figure was slim. That's why when I reached university, I got so much attention because I was the basketball playing basketball really allowed me to become fit. I wasn't slim. I became fit. So when I went to university, basically like I have an athlete body. I had an athlete body. So even though I really play sports, then I just participate in a few sports. I had an athlete's body, so you know, pe- woman will see me and be like, yeah, yeah, he plays sports, he plays sports, so that's one of the next benefit of being fit. You get the athlete's body, and you get to the woman will look at you and be like, yeah, he's an athlete. So I said, I'm giving you the pros and cons, bro. The pros and cons. I've been both of it. I've been both of it. When you're and I've been fat, and one thing I realized when you're fat, if you really love yourself, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because when a while I was fat, if you listen to the podcast, now most of the people are saying, "Yo, bro, you really put on some weight and such like that." But what happened is when you understand why it happened, you don't really feel the the negative stigma that's associated with it because you know that okay. I can get I can get it done. So you don't really feel the negative stigma that being obese and all those stuff. But if you're a person that is maybe genetically obese, like if it runs in your family, because it does run in my family. So which is why I say, you can lose the weight. You can lose the weight because it runs in my family. But I got it done. But if you're obese and it runs in your family, you have to actually put in the effort to actually get it done. You have to actually put in effort. Yeah. So the last thing is your ideal weight. So I give you a couple talking points about being slim and being fat and being fit. But so what I recommend now is you to find your ideal body weight and then get to that. Because that's where you need to be. You don't want to be fat. You don't want to be sl- there's not there you don't want to be fat. There's nothing wrong to be slim, but reaching your body weight, your proper body weight where you're fit is really ideal. Can really There's a lot of opportunities you can really take control of with it when you're being in your proper body weight. When you're obese, you tend to be more lazy because cardio and all those stuff really. So there's a lot of opportunities that you basically take yourself out of by being obese. You know, so being your proper body weight, your BMI, as they say, can really make you able to use your body to maybe its maximum potential. So maybe maybe you don't a person you may be short and people say, oh, you can't play basketball or such like that. But if you actually just okay, let me say we just put on a couple weights or such like that and then start practice some dribbling, you can be a really good point guard. So that's basically it. It's a lot of rambling. It's a lot of rambling. But the main the main thing I want to get to it, is that I've been slim, I've been fat. And you know, my slim days, because I was used to being slim those times, it never bothered me. It never bothered me. But after being fat now and then losing the weight and then see all the things that comes with losing the weight, like all the things that come with gaining the weight was most of my clothes stop to stop fit me. And some of my pants, as I start to wear them, they got torn. So I lose a lot of pants. They got torn because I was so fat. Like as I walk, they tore. But I got home, they torn, so I could have used them. Most of my underwears, same thing. So as I said, there's a lot of cons in gaining weight. And then now that I'm losing weight, some of those pants now that I had that fit me when I was overweight, I know getting smaller, but they kind of fit and such like that. It's the only thing now is that like when you're a kid and they buy and you put on grown up clothes. So that's basically how it is now for me. The clothes that I have, some of them they fit perfectly. They fit perfectly, and I look really neat because I'm fit, and the clothes just really looks nice on me. And we're like, yo, I'm look really sharp. And then some of the clothes, bro, I look, I'm just really slim, and the clothes is really big, and sometimes I have to like pull up the pants and shit like that. So it's like, yo, that's it. Being slim and fat, yeah, there's it's an experience. It's an experience. I can't tell you really what you want to be. If you're fat or obese, ideally you would want to lose some weight because there's a lot of negative things come with it. High cholesterol, diabetes, hypertension, and such like that, especially when you're older. So losing a lot of those weight really can be benefit to your well-being in the long run. Yeah. That basically for this episode. Thanks for listening. I look forward for the next episode. Hmm.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.
Bro, I can't believe it. We did it. We did it, bro. We did it. But starting tomorrow when this episode is recorded. Yeah, I'm going to job training, bro. I'm going to job training. Training for a job that I got. It took a while. If you're a podcaster, and you know that it took a while. It took a while. It took a while. And the pressure from the people said, okay, I need to get a job and all those stuff. I got it. I got it. I got it. And starting tomorrow, when this episode is released, I would maybe actually already start, or maybe got fired by then, or I quit, or I quit. You never know. You never know. But tomorrow, officially, I'm walking through the door. I'm walking through the door.